Unfortunately, the first 21 laps of the footage from race 22 have gone missing, so I will have to give you a brief synopsis of what has happened so far in the race. Mason Wood and Pichu London led the field down to the green flag, and Pichu took the lead on the outside, but Robert Moss and Zach Hofschneider quickly made their way to the front, and they are currently the fastest cars on track, and they are first and second right now. On around lap 10, Ilya Bondarenko got put into the wall on the back stretch, and he had to come into the pits to repair some damage, and he is back out on track one lap down. About a lap ago, on lap 20, Stephen Henhock blew a motor, and he is the only car out of the race. There has been no cautions. So without further ado, here's the rest of the race. After lap 22, Robert Moss and Zach Hofschneider have really pulled away from the rest of the field. They are 6 seconds away from third place Nathan Gibson, and Zach Hofschneider is going to try and make a move on Robert Moss here. He isn't going to be able to make the pass though. A lap and a half later, Zach Hofschneider would be able to get to the inside and pass Robert Moss through turns 3 and 4. Our points leaders so far in this race have not been doing terribly well. James Davis is running around 13th place, Spencer Fullerton is in 16th, and Mitch McDonald is just outside the top 20. Just a couple of laps after Zach Hofschneider made the pass on Robert Moss, Robert would force his way down underneath the 01 car, and he would take back the lead. Robert Moss is trying to finish well so he can have a good shot in Homestead of perhaps taking home the title. He is currently 4th in points. A lap later, Zach Hofschneider is back on Robert Moss's bumper, and he turns him into the inside wall. Robert Moss is around. That car is probably destroyed from that hit, and I don't know what Zach Hofschneider was doing there. Robert Moss was racing him very respectfully, but that's going to bring out the caution, as luckily everyone else is going to avoid Robert Moss. Under this caution, the entire field would come in to the pits to make their only pit stop of the race. Zach Hofschneider and most of the field would take 4 tires. Points leader James Davis and Jacob Young would spend an extended period of time in the pits, to possibly repair damage to their suspension from battling on this very rough 1-mile dirt track. Zach Hofschneider would lead the field back to the green flag here for race 22 of the 2013 HARC Pro Series season. Luke Walker is in second, and Nathan Gibson is in third, and he is trying to get around Luke Walker right now. Eric Cesar thought about making it 3 wide, but luckily backed off. Down into turn 3, Nathan Gibson would end up pushing Luke Walker up into the outside line by giving him a bit of a bump there. Luke Walker tried to defend that position, but Nathan Gibson wasn't having any of it. Down into turn 1, the next lap, Eric Cesar is gotten by second place Nathan Gibson and is trying to make a charge on Zach Hofschneider. However, that isn't going to work as he had to check up. Meanwhile, near the back of the field, James Bond's going to get into Mark Nutt, and Mark Nutt's going to go down the track into the wall, breaking the barrier and ending up upside down on top of the barrier. Once again, leading the field back to the green flag would be the 01 car of Zach Hofschneider. Now that Robert Moss is out of the race, from a very controversial move that Zach Hofschneider made, Zach Hofschneider seems to be the fastest car on track, but Eric Cesar is trying to prove that wrong as he gets to the inside with some help from Connor Brett. Down through turns 3 and 4, it looks like Eric Cesar is going to get the lead. At the back of the pack, James O'Shea gets into Richard Trelinsky, turns him hard down into the inside wall, and James O'Shea goes up the track, making some contact with James Davis, our points leader, and Mason Wood. Meanwhile, around midfield, Brock McMahon is going to get into Ilya Bondarenko. That's going to send Ilya Bondarenko up the track in front of the whole field, And Mitch McDonald with a huge hit at Ilya Bondarenko. Penn Isman and Jacob Young come flying in, and they also get collected. Disappointing for Mitch McDonald, who this is going to seriously dampen his hopes at the championship. Leading the field back to the green flag would be the 1 car of Eric Cesar. Eric Cesar looking to have a great day today, as he has one of the fastest cars on track for one of the few times this year. Zach Hochschneider nearly gets into him off of turn 2 there. Zach Hochschneider has really got to be careful, as he already may receive a bit of a penalty from the HARC officials for his previous actions, as Connor Brenton gets down to the inside. Oh! Zach Hochschneider turns Eric Cesar down into the path of Connor Brenton, who puts him in the wall. William Duncan, James Bond. Oh, we got a big stack-up incident here on track. Let's go onboard Zachary Brown's roof cam. Zachary was the winner of the last race at Talladega. He sees the crash up ahead, moves to the inside, but slows down enough so that he can duck around at the last second if need be. He gets hit in the rear a little bit as he checks up under caution, but overall, Zachary Brown gets out pretty much unscathed. Zach Hochschneider in the 01 car would once again lead the field back to the green flag. Just after the restart, Ben Dover would blow a motor. Disappointing day for that crew. Over the next few laps, Zachary Brown in the 23 car, our Talladega winner, had gradually worked his way up into the top 2, and off of turn 4 he gets to the inside of Zach Hochschneider. We haven't seen anybody make this kind of move all day on Zach Hochschneider. No one's been able to really keep up with him. But now Zachary Brown has inherited the lead, along with Damir Bezhianov has moved into second. Over the course of the next 10 laps, Zachary Brown would begin driving away from the field as he approaches the first lap traffic, which he pretty easily negotiates, as Eric Cesar pushes him up to the outside at first, but the run that Zachary Brown gets off of every single corner just proves too much for any driver trying to stay on the lead lap, let alone any driver trying to pass him. With around 25 laps to go, Luke Walker is running in 21st position when he blows a motor. Something explodes on that car, and he drops to the inside. James Davis barely avoids Luke Walker. Luke Walker smartly maintaining the inside, as that's going to be the end of his day. After negotiating some of the early back markers, Zachary Brown would continue driving away from the field, as Andreas Allen in the 39 car has inherited second. Andreas looks like he's going to have one of his few good runs today. Coming to 20 laps to go, Spencer Fullerton is running right in the middle of the field right now, around 14th, but that's going to be enough to give him some points and really gain on James Davis, who, with the damage he received from the James O'Shea crash, has been stuck just outside the top 20 for pretty much the whole day. With 10 laps to go, Zachary Brown has increased his margin yet again to around 6 seconds on Connor Brenton. James Davis and Richard Trelinsky have just gone a lap down, as James Davis's last hopes of possibly maintaining a good finish are now dashed. After taking the white flag, Zachary Brown has driven away from pretty much everyone in the field today. He's put an 8-second gap on second place Zach Harvick, who's made his way up past Connor Brenton. He won last week at Talladega, he'll become just the third driver to win back-to-back races in HARC history. Zachary Brown wins in Springfield. Coming across the line in second, his second straight top 5 finish would be Zach Harvick. In third would be Andreas Allen, who picks up one of his best runs of the year. Connor Brenton would come across fourth. He was in second for a long while, but he just couldn't compete with Zachary Brown. And Shrimp Engritz is going to come across the line in fifth. Spencer Fullerton's going to come across the line in 13th place after a long battle with Nathan Gibson, which he ended up just losing out on, which is going to put him just 2 points behind James Davis in the championship standings as we enter the finale at Homestead in a couple of weeks. James Davis scored no points as he finished 22nd, so really disappointing day for him. Mitch McDonald crashed out and was involved in that big crash caused by Brock McMahon spinning Ilya Bondarenko. And Robert Moss was leading earlier, hoping to have a good run so that he could really have a good shot coming into Homestead, but he'll DNF, and that's going to put him 30 points behind the maximum you can be behind and still be competitive. So he'll have to win next week at Homestead if he has any chance whatsoever.